What's up, guys? In today's tutorial, I'll be going over how to set up your demand gen campaigns for your YouTube advertising. Okay. This is in lieu of Google coming out and saying, hey, we're going to force everyone in 2025 to move from your typical video action campaigns to demand gen campaigns, right? So enough chit chat. Let's jump into it. All right. So here we are. We are inside one of my accounts, and we want to set up a demand gen campaign. So what we do is we come over here and we hit this fatty blue button. You might be on this overview page, just hit new campaign, but hit new campaign, and then we want leads. Okay, so click on leads, and then you'll have like your different conversion goals already set up. So you can, the conversion goals you're already using for your YouTube campaigns, you can use those right here for your demand gen campaigns. Hit continue, and then we scroll down here and we have our demand gen. Okay. So come April, you won't be able to see this anymore. You will only see demand gen. That may happen in April, it may not, but it's supposed to happen in 2025. We want to pick demand gen. Click on that, hit continue, start new. Okay, so again, as usual, your naming convention, you can name it whatever you want to name it. Campaign goals, they do have clicks here, so you can try and get more clicks. However, I always go for conversion. I mean, that's your goal, right? Is to get conversions. That's why we have conversion goals. So I always pick conversions, and then you'll have your different conversion goals in here. If you don't see them in here, you want to add them in there. If you haven't set up your conversions yet, you will want to set up your conversions before you build any of these campaigns. Now, target cost per action, you don't want to select this, right? Unless you have like a couple hundred conversions in your account. So just say you have like a form submit or phone calls or what it may be. Okay, you want to have a couple hundred form submissions inside this account before you select this target cost per acquisition. Okay, that'll give you a good idea how much an opt-in is going to cost you, how much a lead is going to cost you, and it gives Google a really good starting point. Whereas if you have little to no conversions on your goals, it's not going to work very well. Okay, so for now, we're just going to leave this blank. Budget. So usually I like to start at about minimum $35 a day. However, I like to do 50. Okay, minimum 35, but you really want to start around $50 a day. But however, whatever you are spending on your current YouTube campaigns, all right, you want to kind of, I'd probably start out low, like a little bit less, and then slowly build up to that again. So just say right now you're spending like $200 a day on your YouTube campaigns. Probably start at $50 a day, and then after a week, go to $100 a day, and then $150 a day every week or so. All right, so just slowly build up to it. Start end date. If you want to have an end date, sure, have an end date. Me, I usually just finish the campaign or pause the ads when I no longer want to spend any more money. Pretty simple. Okay, so language and locations. Okay, I want to enable target campaign level location and language targeting. The reason why I want to do it at the campaign level is if we go to enter location and advanced search, okay, it'll give us a radius. For some reason, if you do it at the ad group level, you cannot do a radius. Okay. And I always do a radius. I find great results doing radius. So radius around whatever you want to do. So it could be, I don't know, 50 miles or 20 miles around, say, for example, Orlando. Okay. If I can spell Orlando include. Okay. And it'll choose the major Orlando area. Okay. Or you can do a location and just do Florida or just do the whole United States. Whatever it is you're targeting, whatever location you want to target, you want to do it on the campaign level. It's safe. Languages, obviously, wherever you're advertising, whatever the main language is, you'll want to pick that language. All right. So I'll pick English. Devices. We want to set specific targeting for devices. We want to remove TV screens. It is very difficult for someone to use the remote and give you their name, email, phone number, or whatever other details you're looking for. Okay. We want to do that. Now, networks. There are two things you can do here. You can do all networks, which works great, or you can do Wi-Fi. So the great thing about Wi-Fi is if someone's in a Wi-Fi network, they're sitting down. They're on their phone sitting down somewhere usually. They're not on the toilet at work, using their mobile data. So they're not going to be in the car, listening to some YouTube podcasts or whatever. Wi-Fi is a really good one to do. I would probably split test between two campaigns, one using Wi-Fi, and one using just all networks. Okay. And see which one works the best. For me, I've always done all, but I have also done Wi-Fi. They've been kind of the same, but I've only, if I'm being 100% transparent, honest, I've only never done it once with one offer, and they both work out pretty well. Okay. So it's your choice. It's your option. Depends how much money you want to spend and your, ability to split test. Okay. So we'll keep all networks for now. Ad schedule for me, I let it run, man. I just let the sucker run. Video partners. So don't worry about these two right here. Video partners. This is amazing that they allow you to turn it off. Okay, or to not automatically have it on. We do not want to enable Google Video Partners because Google does not give us the whole list of who's on their partners list. Okay, it doesn't really tell us. So I leave that unticked. So we can go to ad group one. All right. So name your ad group, whatever it wants to be. Usually it's going to be like the audience name. So it'll just be like the audience name and like the demographic. Okay. Or something like that. You want to add in your audience here. Okay. So you may already have, so if you're running previous YouTube campaigns, you will already have your audiences here. Use the same audiences that you've had success with in the past. Okay. If you don't have any audiences in here, what you want to do, click on new audiences and then name your audience here. So we'll just call it example audience, right? Custom segments. So custom segments are pre-built audiences. So segments just means audience. They're pre-built by Google through their data and their sources and whatnot, right? Your data, this is your data. This is list you've uploaded to Google. This is retargeting audiences, people that have visited your website who have converted, people have visited your website and didn't convert. Okay, this is your data right here. Okay. Lookalike segment, this is amazing. They're giving this to you. So if you already have like off of your data, so if you have a current list of leads, if you already have a bunch of converters, or a list of people who, a retargeting list. Maybe you want to create a group of humans that look like, people have just visited your website. This is where you'll do that. Okay. We have interest in detailed demographics. So we come in here. These are pretty cool because you have like in-market audiences. These are fully sick audiences. Life events, haven't really had too much success with those. Detailed demographics, you can get in here and get a bit more Gucci. So like, are they homeowners? What their education levels, are they parents or not? And then you have affinity audiences. These are like interest-based audiences, interests. And then up here, custom segments, right? This is where you can create some really Gucci audiences, really niche audiences. So the ones I like to use in here are people who type in these search terms, people who use apps, and people who visit certain websites. You have a list of interests. These are called affinity audiences. I haven't really found too much success with these. But usually website audiences, apps, and Google search term audiences are the best, right? So those, you can create those. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to go down here and we're going to pick an in-market audience. So we go browse, in-market, and we're just going to pick someone that's in market for business, where do you go? Business services. Oh, I think market is a marketing advertising thing it's called. We'll just do business services. Business services. Oh yeah, here it is. Advertising, marketing services. We'll pick that. Okay, because that's what I do. Right. Obviously, exclusions, you can exclude people. So you can exclude people who've already converted. That's usually what I would like to do, is exclude people who've already bought into my offer. Demographics. Okay. For me, I usually do 35 to 64. I always keep unknown ticked. And then I like to do the top 10% to the lower 50%. Exactly. Right here. Oh, no, sorry. The upper 50% of humans. And then hit save. Okay. So I've added that in. Now, optimize targeting. Okay, I want to deselect that. Optimize targeting is basically saying, hey, Google, I want you to go to people outside of my targeted audience, okay, which doesn't make sense. I only want to focus my message in my ad on people who are in the audience I'm choosing. So I always deselect optimize targeting. All right, we then want to go to ad one. We want to create a video ad. Single image ads, these will be fantastic. So if you have an offer, okay, that is unproven, right? Say a brand new landing page, brand new offer, I would not start with video ads, okay? I would start with image-based ads. This will be cheaper for you. It'll be easier for you to prove, yep, this offer works, my messaging works, this type of copy, my landing page works, okay? And then once you've proven that, then you can go to video ad. So here's what I've noticed, right? I've noticed that if an offer and a landing page and like copywriting works for Facebook ads, it is like almost 100% certain to work with YouTube ads, so long as your ad isn't atrocious. Okay. So if you can make it work with like still image ads, then it'll definitely work really well with video based ads. Okay. So that's why I would use single image ads. However, today we're talking video ads. So we'll click on video. Ad name, you can name it whatever you want. Usually it'll be whatever the hook is, right? So hook one or hook two or whatever it is. Okay, that's how I label mine ads. Is just what hook is. The final URL, you put it here. Okay, just a buzz bucket friggin' URL there. And then your videos. Now, if you've already uploaded your video ads to your YouTube channel and your YouTube channel is linked to your Google Ads account, okay, you will find them in here. So obviously, if you're already running your video ads, then everything's all good to go. Just click on add and boom, we have a bunch of, these are some different ads running for Ash here from Taco World. We'll just click on here. Boom, we'll pick that one, hit save. Okay. Now, here is what's really, really interesting. Previously, they kind of forced you to run your ads on in feed. That's like the YouTube homepage. Okay. I didn't really like that for video ads. But right here, you can choose where your video shows. You used to be able to do this, but they took it away for a while and then they brought it back, which is really surprising. I freaking love it. So I don't want to show up on in-feed ads. Okay, your image-based ads, yes, you want to show them on in-feed. Shorts. Now, if your video, if your ad is under a minute long, then yep, I'd put it on shorts. It's no guarantee to show up on shorts, but if your ad's over a minute long, then untick. Okay, so we really only want to add our video ads to show up on in stream. So that's when someone's watching a video on YouTube, right, or a podcast, or whatever it may be, and then boom, your ad will pop up, somewhere at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, somewhere. That's where we want to be. Those are in-stream ads. So I'm super, super happy that they created those, or they brought that back. Okay. Obviously, we're adding your logo. Now, with these enhancements, I like to get vertical and square versions of my videos. I don't really mind them doing that. I don't like to have a shorter version. I don't like Google to say, hey, here's a shorter version of your video, because they're going to leave out a lot of possible really good messaging that you want your audience to hear. Okay. So I leave vertical square versions available, right? So it fits better on whatever format. But the short version, I untick. Okay. And obviously, same thing. You go through, you fill out your headlines, you fill out your long headline, descriptions, okay, your call to action button. This is what the button's going to say. Okay, so you say, contact us. All right, you see here, contact us, or it could be, learn more, find out more, or whatever. Put your business name here. So, full business name, right? Put that there. Don't really give it here. No, it won't. All right. And then site links. So with site links, it depends on where you're sending traffic. So if you're sending traffic to a landing page, like it's like a 3-page funnel, for example, or even a 2-page funnel, you have to have a minimum of 2 site links on your ad. And each site link has to go to a different URL, different page. So if you're sending it to like your website, where you have multiple pages, that might be fine. I don't recommend sending YouTube traffic to a website. I would rather send it to like a funnel, right? 2-page funnel, 3-page funnel, whatever, right? With a landing page, the VSL, whatever you want to do. Okay. So site links are kind of out of the question here. You can't really do them because you're only sending the traffic to one page. You don't want to send it somewhere else. I hope that makes sense. And then URL options, if you want to get really, really Gucci and you're nerd like I am, you can put in here tracking templates. So it could tell you, oh, this lead came from this ad and this audience and the URL parameters, right? Tracking UTM parameters. And then after that, hit get review, go to review, and then you'll be able to create your ad. So I'm just going to just quickly plump in some headlines here. So headline 2, description 1, just like to show you guys what happens next. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I'll just put Google 1, and then we'll go here. Hopefully let me do it. Okay, no, we don't want to touch any of those. Yep. I mean, then you hit publish campaign. So hit publish campaign. What happens here is it says, hey, you should spend more money. Not necessarily. All the actions you selected conversion goals are unverified. All right. So usually in this account, the goals I've chosen aren't verified properly. But if you've gone through the conversion, set it properly, everything should be good. In here, this all looks great. Coming through here, just checking everything off. That looks great, great. You hit publish campaign and it'll publish the campaign. So that is basically how you want to build out your campaigns. Okay. So if you guys need help with this, please don't hesitate to reach out to my team and I. You can reach out at support@adforge.agency. Email us there. We'll get back to you within a few hours. No worries. Please like, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.